In last week's video, I flew over stunning scenery in rural Oregon before landing in Lebanon, where I visited my long-lost cousin. In this video, I continue flying over more beautiful Pacific Northwest lakes, rivers, and trees before making a horrible approach and an okay landing on the tiny runway at Woodland, Washington.
Lebanon traffic, Luscombe 181 kilos, crossing the runway at the intersection here, and I'll be taxiing to the south for a departure on 34 Lebanon. Lebanon traffic, Luscombe 1813 kilo, taking off runway 34. I'll be departing the area to the north, Lebanon.
Don't see anybody coming, don't hear anybody. A little left crosswind there maybe.
On this leg, I left late due to thick fog, skirted Salem's Class D airspace, flew along the Willamette River, and flew between Hillsboro's Class D and under Portland's Class C airspace before flying along the Columbia River and landing at Woodland.
So I'm going to go around Albany, and I'm going to come over and pick up a river, which goes north of Albany. So it is 2 p.m. This is by far the latest I've left on any day of this trip. But 2 o'clock now, I should be home by 5 p.m. Even with a stopover in Kelso, which I think I'll make. So this is Albany over here, and I'm just going to fly around the northern tip of it.
Settled around 1848, Albany has around 56,000 residents and is the 11th largest city in Oregon. Its economy centers around farming and manufacturing. I find it quite fascinating that zirconium, hafnium, and titanium are produced in Albany. Crops are grass seed, corn, beans, mint, strawberries, and hazelnuts.
Comes to the field, 125 on air below, use caution, watch scan, be admitted.
Can you talk faster there, buddy? So this is I-5. Guess I didn't realize I was so close to I-5, but makes sense. So obviously Lebanon is close to I-5. I could just follow this all the way home. Well, actually, I'm sure that'd take me right through the middle of Portland's Class C airspace. So we should be coming up on a river here, which I may follow for a little bit, we'll see. Yep, I see some water over there between the trees. Thought it might be fun to follow a river for a bit. Oh, what are those? It's a field of red something or other, some kind of fruit or vegetable. Oh, bird, 12 o'clock high. So which way is this river flowing? I don't even know what river it is. Definitely got some winds messing around with us here. Got a cable going across the river there to do some kind of transportation of. Oh, it's a ferry. It's a car ferry. Huh. I'm going generally in the direction of home right now. And this river looks like it's going to come and go next to that hill, along the base of that hill, almost due west. Yeah, we got some people down on the river in kayaks or something maybe here. Okay, that'd be kind of cool flying under that bridge. Gotta admit. Oh, wires without any indicators on them that there are wires. That's exciting. Yep, I'm going downstream here. So, I'm going to have to veer away from the river here a little bit because there's some Class D airspace. I could talk to the tower, but I don't want to mess with it, especially with my radio situation. So, I'm just going to go ahead, climb up out of the river here, go to the left a little bit. Got a little hill here in front of us. So there's Class D right off here, right off my wingtip, and Salem just over there. And I should be able to intercept the same river up ahead here.
Complete public is now 566 Alpha Charlie, 10 North Carolina, southwest, inbound. Complete public.
No clue what you just said, dude. Yeah, there's the river. Yeah, so we're around the delta. Don't need to worry about that anymore. And now here there's balls across the wires. And more wires over there. Nice house. Yeah, so Salem is directly behind us.
Salem is Oregon's capital and was founded in 1842, became the capital of the Oregon Territory in 1851, and was incorporated in 1857. When I was a kid, my family would drive down to Salem from Tacoma to visit my aunt, uncle, and cousins. That aunt was one of my dad's 3 sisters. One of those cousins was Randy, the long-lost cousin I stayed with last night.
Like, where in the heck am I on there? Wanted to see if there's any sharp bends coming up. Yep, doesn't look like it. Kind of a gradual turn here. Yeah, the windshield's getting kind of dirty.
In the past couple videos, I flew along the middle fork of the Willamette River. This is the Willamette River. It's a major tributary of the Columbia River, the largest river in the Pacific Northwest. The Willamette River is 187 miles long and accounts for between 12 and 15% of the Columbia River's flow, albeit only shortly before it empties into the Pacific Ocean. Oregon's largest city, Portland, is situated at the mouth of the Willamette River, where it empties into the Columbia. The Willamette Valley, which contains the Willamette River and its tributaries, is one of the most fertile regions in North America and was the destination of many 19th century pioneers traveling west along the Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I think I'm going to climb up here. It looks like a little bit of a sharp turn coming up maybe, and it's hard to know for sure. So, I don't want to be stuck down in here if it's sharper than I'm comfortable doing. So if I need to, I can just cut the corner. So we got a sharp right here coming, then an even sharper left. Yeah, no problem. Actually, could have done that down on the water, but that's okay.
And Capital's traffic, Tri-Pacer 5789 Delta will be leaving eastbound.
And tons of traffic in the ADSB here. Well, if I look out far enough.
This traffic, Shahak 93 Lima, we're about 10 miles east, 3,200, and we'll be entering left traffic runway 15 Caboose.
There's tons of traffic around Hillsborough. That's where there's all the traffic. Well, there might be around Portland International. Maybe there's... Maybe there's beyond the range that I'm displaying on my ADSB here.
Caboose traffic, Cessna 6460, Mike 4 nautical mile east of the field at 2,700, descending to 2,200. We'll join the left downwind for the 15, touch and go, Caboose.
That's Mount Hood, I think, over there. I see an airplane straight ahead there, zipping along to the east. Probably, yeah, going into,
Caboose traffic, Shahak 93 Lima on left downwind, runway 15 Caboose.
going into PDX there, Portland International. I don't know what those runways are, probably, I don't know, 110 or something. And I see a bunch of planes, or not a bunch, a couple lined up. One just took off from one of those, and one's on final there. And I am just now going under the shelf of the Portland Class C airspace. Oh, there's Mount Hood.
Caboose traffic, Cessna 338, 5 miles to the northeast, and Mount to land runway 15. Caboose.
I see Mount Adams there, I think. And Mount St. Helens. I cannot believe it. Lots of housing developments. Lots of them. Woo, there's a whole bunch of wires. You want to die? Fly into those. Dang.
Caboose traffic, Cessna 338, entering downwind for runway 15, Caboose.
Sounds cute.
This is the Columbia River. It starts way up in the Rocky Mountains of British Columbia, Canada, then snakes its way through eastern Washington before forming the border between Washington and Oregon. It's 1,243 miles long and ultimately empties into the Pacific Ocean. The main stem of the Columbia River has 14 dams. Thus, the river provides much electricity to the Pacific Northwest and much water for irrigation to farmers in Washington and Oregon. A few somewhat obscure things the Columbia is known for is the so-called Gorge at George, an amphitheater holding significant musical concerts on a regular basis, and the gorge itself, a spot where the river cuts through the Cascade Mountains and where winds are strong and consistent. It's world-renowned as a prime windsurfing spot.
Traffic Cessna 338, turning base for runway 15. Sky please.
The mighty Columbia River.
And Scappoose traffic, Piper 5789 Delta is about 3 miles northeast. We'll be entering left downwind 15.
I'm going to land at Woodland instead of Kelso. So I think I'm going to turn up this river.
This is the Lewis River, another tributary of the Columbia River. It's just under 100 miles long and drains part of the Cascades just north of the Columbia. Although some things in the area are named after the famous explorer Meriwether Lewis, the Lewis River is named after A. Lee Lewis, an early colonizer who homesteaded near the mouth of the river.
This is the river that'll lead me, I think, right to Woodland. Because there's a river. Woodland goes, right, is situated right between I-5 and a river. And this must be the river.
Pseudo traffic, jump point 416 Mike Romeo. 10,000 feet, 2 minutes to jump, 2 minutes to jump over Toledo. Please. Stay clear of the north end of the airfield, Toledo.
Should I go under or over?
Small 59 on right downwind to 35, towards Newburgh.
Alright, so I'm above pattern altitude here. So let's take a look at the windsock, and I haven't heard anybody else.
This is Horseshoe Lake. It used to be part of the Lewis River until it was cut off in 1940 during the construction of Highway 99. Water is pumped into the lake via a 16-inch culvert, and the lake is a popular lake for fishing, containing bass and trout, among other species. Fishing is via the shoreline and also by public boat launch.
Yeah, it looks like the wind's going to be a left. That's, maybe actually not much of anything.
Woodland State traffic, Luscombe 1813 kilos, maneuvering for a 45 for a left downwind for 32, Woodland State.
Alright, haven't heard anybody else, didn't see anybody else. The wind's pretty dead. So we want to be about 1,000. Oh, we'll get down here, we'll clean the window off, change some batteries, and then we'll head home. It didn't have to land at Kel, so this one's fine and a little more interesting.
Pseudo traffic, jump plane 416 Mike Romeo, 14,000 feet, jumpers away over Toledo. North practice area traffic, helicopter 7155 Whiskey, white helicopter. We are about 1 to 2 miles west of Grove Airfield at 1,100 northbound, maneuvering in the area where white helicopter, north practice.
Mess with that. That's terrible. Terrible approach, but okay, not pretty in any respect, but I made it work. Yeah, ugly. Pretty much ugly in every respect.
Fucking embarrassing!
Come back next week when I fly the final leg of this incredible 3.5-week trip, barely averting disaster when just a hair's breadth from home, landing back where I began at Thun Field in Puyallup, Washington.